Morning, evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to today's video. As you've seen in the title below, we're doing a finance analytics project, and we're going to be using Tableau and SQL. So we're going to be building this very simple beginner level dashboard together. And the first thing we'll do is to just get into MySQL, where we're going to manipulate our data, clean it, do some feature engineering. Then we'll jump onto Tableau and do this basic dashboard together. Yeah. So I'm using the Prosper loan data. I'm going to link it down below so you can, go through the description, take time to explore and understand the data set further before you continue. But for the purposes of this project, I'll only be explaining the columns that are relevant to this project. Otherwise, let's get into the video. And yeah, let's start by switching to MySQL. So if you're totally new to MySQL, please note I have a tutorial. I have a whole tutorial covering SQL. And on the first ever video on that tutorial, I'll show you how to upload your CSV onto your MySQL environment. And that same video has a link to a tutorial that can help you download MySQL into your machine if that is something that you don't have and you'd like to get. Otherwise, guys, let's start. Okay, so what are we doing for this project? Yeah, we want to track the loan book performance. So what's this going to entail? We're going to look at disbursements month over month. We're going to look at disbursements month over month, amount paid month over month, and we'll also look at the returns, debt to income ratio, and lastly, loss rate. Yeah. So what is the first thing we're going to do? So one thing I want you to notice, when you come down here, look at the listing creation date. Yeah, look at it. It's not exactly like it's in datetime format, and we want it as a date. Yeah. And also, if you come here and click on this, so listing creation date is actually in text. Yeah. So the first cleaning effort that we need to do is to change that column into date type format. Yeah. But I was just using this to explain to you guys, but that's not a column we need. So let me actually select a column that we are going to use here, and it's called loan origination date. Yeah, so let's run that and see. So as you can see, the loan origination date, actually this is actually okay. Did I already clean it? Anyway, let's check. Loan origination date, and no, so it's already it's in text format. Yeah, so the first thing we need to do is a data cleaning effort, and that data cleaning effort will involve changing this date origination date column into from text to date type. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we are going to alter table, and then we get the table name. Then modify, we need the column name, date. Yeah, so let's run this and see what happens. Okay, oh, it's still running. Is it a bit slow today? Okay, there it is. So let's run this again. Actually, we don't need to run this again. What we need to do is to just come here, select the table we're working with, refresh. Then after you refresh, come to, there you go. Loan origination date has been changed to data type, date. So it's date type now, it's no longer text, yeah. So yeah, we can go on with our analysis, yeah. So as I mentioned, we want to look at disbursements, amount paid, returns, debt to income ratio, loss rate, month over month, yeah. So the first thing I just want us to do is just select all this, yeah. So I think loan, yeah, original amount, that is like our disbursements. Let me just do this. Okay. So we need paid, I think paid started with LP. Customer, so we have payments, then we need our returns. I think our returns was estimated something, estimated return, and then estimated loss, yeah. So yeah, let's comment this out since we don't need this anymore, and let's run that. So there we have our loan origination date, loan original amount, payments, returns, and loss rate. So as you loss, estimated loss, yeah. So as you can see, there are some missing values, yeah. But when you take the time to just go through the data and the description of the data, so I'm going to link the source of the data down below. I'll also link the code to this project down below. So if you've already taken time to go through that, one of the comments inside the description of the data is some metrics are only viable as from 2009. I think it was July 2009, yeah. So I'm not shocked that estimated return and estimated loss has some blanks, yeah. So if we come here and we do where loan original date is greater than, so the last day of 2009, yeah. So we are going to only work with data as from the start of 2010. So that's December 31st, yeah. So let's run that. Okay, so as you can see, our missing values are no longer there. So let's just save this, yeah. So what do we want? We want to get the disbursements, payments, return, and loss rate month over month, yeah. So how do we do that, yeah? So as I've mentioned before, I use Postgres more than I do my SQL. So in Postgres, you use something called date trunk, but here we're going to use something called date format. I think it's going to make our thing disappear. Okay. So loan, because I actually want you guys to see the difference. Okay. It should be this one. Okay. Loan original date, yeah. Okay, so let's just copy this. So we want to format this column, and we want to format it in a way that it gives us the month here. So what you're going to do is specify. So we want the year, then we want the month, and we want to keep it to the first day of the month. And midnight. So that's the start of the first day. Month, yeah, because 01 midnight. Not sure. Month. Think through that and let me know if my reasoning was okay in the comments down below. Anyway, as month, yeah. So yeah, let's run this and see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, the loan, I'll just call it loan date, honestly. So loan date, as this is 2024, March 3rd, so the 3rd day of March. But when it comes to when we format it, yeah, when we did format it to month, now it's just March 1st, yeah? So you see, like, if you come here, this is December 12th, December 12th, I would want to get 2 months that look alike. So yeah, like this is May 13th. This is also May 13th. Oh, this is May 17th, yeah? So regardless of the date, this is May 17th. It's reverting to May 1st. May 13th reverting to May 1st. So I think by now you get the gist, yeah? So what it's doing is 24th of December results to December 1st. So the date column is no longer being considered. It's just about the month, and then it's selecting the first day of the month. Yeah. So yeah, so there we have it. So another thing I'd also want us to do is I want us to get the year. Yes, I want us to have a column named year. So we still need this. And then, so we want a column named year. We just need to specify year as. Okay. So let's run that and save that. There we go. We have, so this is 2014, 12, 13, 12, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So now we don't need this anymore. So we're going to comment that out. Okay. So what do we want? Yeah. We want the aggregated amount disbursed. Yeah. So that is the sum of the loan original amount as total disbursements, yeah? So same to payments, yeah? We want the aggregated payments, yeah? So that is some payments as total paid, yeah? And then for estimated return, there's something else we're supposed to do, debt to income ratio, yeah? So we can do that, debt to income ratio. Okay, so for estimated return, estimated loss, and debt to income ratio, it does not make sense to what is it called, to add them, because these are ratios. These are, you could even say, percentages. So like the estimated return here would be 1, 2, so 4.5%, so that's 0.54, yeah? So this, you need to get an average, yeah? It does not make sense to add them. So like if you add them and you get to like 100, how do you interpret 100, you know? So the average as, I will call it profit, because it was using return earlier. Unless we do return. No, I think I'll just call it profit, it's neater. So profit, and then we're going to get the average loss rate as loss rate. I keep on calling it loss rate, I don't know why. Then the average debt to income ratio. Control undo as debt income. Okay, so let's save that. So, oh, I actually done that. Okay, yeah. So we'll talk about this error. But before we talk about this error, like now we're keeping it very simple, yeah? So, and I think I've mentioned this in my previous projects. I don't know if I've already talked about it here, but this is going to be the last like beginner level project that I'm going to do this month, maybe even this year. But of course, from the title, you know, if I indicate beginner, it's beginner. If I don't say anything, it's probably like a bit more advanced. So what do I mean by a bit more advanced? So for those of you who are new here, I've been doing SQL tutorial. I'm still working on it. So I've done a bunch of like beginner level SQL, intermediate SQL, and I'm just starting to do like advanced SQL. So like, for example, it's been like a week, maybe 2 weeks of working on the Windows function series, which is an advanced SQL concept. So for this particular project, I'm not going to be using any advanced concept. I'm going to stick to intermediate and beginner level. But as from the next project, if another project comes this month, or probably the next project will be next month, I'm going to start incorporating advanced concepts. So we're going to keep it very simple. So what's the point of me telling you that? You see, like here, we're just aggregating amount disbursed against amount paid for this whole period. But ideally, I would want us to do something like attach the amount paid to the actual loan it was disbursed from, and this will allow us to calculate the collection rate or something. Yeah, so let me just do this aggregation, then you get what I mean by collection rate, and you'll see why I'm saying, like, why now we might not be able to calculate the collection rate. Yeah, so yeah, for those of you who've already gone through like my group by tutorial, I'm sure you understand why this error is here. So ideally, when you have aggregated columns and non-aggregated columns, so we have these two non-aggregated columns, month and year, they can't exist with aggregated columns unless you introduce a group by and you put the non-aggregated columns in the group by year. So group by 1, group by 2. So 1 is the placeholder for the first column, 2, the second column, which is year. So if we run this, our error is gone. Yeah, so let me just do some cleaning before I explain to you guys why we might not be able to calculate the, what is this called, the collection rate with this very simple query of ours. Yeah, so I'm just going to do some cleaning. I'm going to start with paid, so we can round this to 2 decimal places. Then we also want to round this. Actually, so this is going to be rounded to 2 decimal places, but this one is going to be rounded to 0. Same thing, we're going to round this to 2 decimal places. And then we're going to round this also to 2 decimal places. Yeah, so yeah, so now profit, loss rate, debt to income ratio, I want it, so it will just be 0.4. This will be 0.06, 0.24, 0.06. Yeah, and then for the total paid, it will just be 70,755,055. We're getting rid of the decimal places. Yeah, okay, so that's a bit more clean. So as you can see here, so this total disbursed is 12 million, yeah? And this total collected is 7 million. Okay, it's actually higher. What about here? This is 33 million. This is 6 million, yeah? So we could easily do, total paid divided by total disbursed for that month, but that's not correct because, first of all, if you've already gone through the data set, you'll notice that these loans have various terms, yeah? So what was paid in the month of, I've not ordered it. Let me do that. Order the variant. Okay, so what was paid in the month of, this is Jan 2010, is not necessarily what was disbursed. So this amount was paid, but it doesn't mean it's what we gave out. First of all, I don't think they have 1 month loans. I didn't see any 1 month loans. I didn't see any term loans. Okay, honestly, I can't remember, but I didn't see. So if my assumption is correct that they don't have 1 month loans, so definitely what they disbursed in Jan of 2010 has nothing to do what was paid in Jan of 2010. And even if there were 1 month loans, either way around, what was disbursed in Jan 2010 would be paid up the following month. Sorry about my voice. Would be paid up the following month, but that's not necessarily true. So yeah, I would want to redo this project. I would want us to figure out a way to get the actual collection rate and to tie a payment to a specific loan. Yeah, but for now, This is what we have. And yeah, let me save that. That's it for creating our data set. So we have our month, we have our year, we have the total disbursed, total paid, profit, loss rate, debt to income ratio. Now let's let's get on to Tableau and visualize our data. So this is Tableau Public. My assumption is you already have a Tableau Public account. If you don't have, please feel free to sign up. It's free. So once you sign up, you can come and let's continue together. Let's create this dashboard of ours. Yeah. So come to create visualizations. Give it a minute. And what we're going to do is we're coming here. We're going to come to data. And we're going to upload. Oh, did I save the data? Did I save the data? I don't think I did. Let me just go and save it. Okay, so I went and saved the data. I'm back. So there we have. So that's our project data. It's being uploaded onto Tableau. So there you are. So let's just give it a minute. Data source. So we're not going to do so much at this area because like our data is already pretty clean. We cleaned it on SQL. Why is this now? Anyway, we'll see how it appears here. We cleaned it on SQL and we're only working with like one data set, or else we'd have to do what is it called, a join, but that's not the case for us. Our data is pretty clean. We're working with one data set, so there's not much that we need to do at the data source panel. Yeah, so I don't know why it was showing now. Maybe it hadn't loaded yet. So I just want to put this here and make sure this is working. So let's do total paid. And then let's do month. And if we do month, why is it taking so long? Meanwhile, let me just change the data. Yeah, something is up with our data source. So yeah, just give me a minute. Let me just open it on SQL. I mean, not on SQL. Yeah, like why is this? This is not supposed to be now. Yeah, so let me just open the data. I don't know if you guys can see. I think I need to stop sharing. I think I need to stop sharing. I need to stop sharing on Tableau and get onto, what is it called, and get onto Excel so that we figure out what's wrong. But we'll probably have to correct it on MySQL. So like, let me just switch. Okay, so as you can see, it's now okay. So let me just switch screens and explain to you guys what I did. Okay, so the problem was here. I was using lowercase y, and here too, I was using lowercase y. Yeah, so I switched this to uppercase y, this two to uppercase y, and then I re-downloaded the data. So we can just re-download it again. So here it is as data. And that's what I have now uploaded onto Tableau. So yeah, we can get into Tableau and start the visualization. It's so interesting how like such a small error, such a small, should I say, change omission can like spoil or change everything. Because like as I mentioned earlier, like I mostly work on Postgres and Postgres uses the trunk, yeah. So date format is something I'm getting used to. And I don't know who told me not to use, like I saw the syntax is capital Y, clearly it was capital Y for a reason. So when I changed it to small y, it messed up with the date column a bit. I really don't know why. It's something that I'll research more on. But yeah, if you're someone who's been using MySQL for a while and you understand why that's the case, please educate us. Let us know down in the comment below. Otherwise, guys, let's quickly get into building our dashboard. Yeah. So we're going to be creating 4 visualizations. Yeah. We're going to do we're going to track payments on its own. We're going to, okay, so I think I need to anyway, let me finish it. We're going to track payments on its own. We're going to track disbursements and debt to income ratio together. We're going to track loss rate on its own, and we're going to track the profits / returns on its own too. So yeah, so let's just create 3 more of this. 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to start with payments, and let's just start by getting rid of this. It's taking a while, and let's bring total paid here, and then we bring the date here. What is going on, you people? This is not what it's supposed to do. I clearly didn't fix the problem. This is not what it's supposed to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the data sets for the trial so that we can just get over and done with this. And then I'm going to debug the query. Wait, that's the problem. So why didn't my data source change? New data source. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to leave it as it is, yeah, because these are the real struggles you go through as a data analyst. Nothing will be perfect. Okay. Let's do this and hope this time it actually works. Okay, so we're going to call this loan tracking. Give it a few seconds. Okay. So I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. I still don't think it's reflecting the right data source, you guys. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to go to let's just come here. And we're going to create a new visualization. And we're going to come to data. We're just going to start this whole process again together. Pain points. Okay, so let's give it a minute. Let's update this. Okay, let's publish this as loan book. We'll call it loan book tracking. So feel free to skip this part, speed through it. So loan book tracking. Okay, so we can publish that. And we're still going to do our 4 visualizations, and we put them all in a dashboard. So the first thing I want to do before I even continue is to just make sure that this is working. Okay. Yay, it's working, guys. It's working. Okay, so we're good to go. Okay. So yeah, so let me just rename this, and this is going to be renamed as payments. Okay. So yeah, so just before we continue, like I'm intentionally not going to edit out what we just went through because that is totally normal in data. Two things that I want you to learn, like never give up. Like if something is not working, Google is your friend, ChatGPT is your friend, your colleagues are your friends, your former classmates, bootcamp mates are your friends. Research, ask, yeah. Then the number two thing, as a data analyst, you're going to be challenged. You're going to need to switch between tools, yeah? So like, for example, I learned like Power BI after Excel, though I never really did dashboards in Excel, was my first data analytics tool. I'd say when I was like, now I want to learn data analysis, the first tool I used to create a dashboard was Power BI, but I've not used it in a long time. I ended up in a role that required me to like use another visualization, another BI tool, and today is the first time I've come back to Tableau after a long time. And the point of me telling you this is once you master one, be it Tableau, be it Power BI, be it Excel, switching between tools won't be so difficult. And it's also up to you to challenge yourself. Because I won't lie to you, like me deciding to do this project, I was just like, oh my gosh, out of my comfort zone. Why can't I just use the BI tool that we use at work? Because I'm so good at it. But I'm like, no. That's not the mindset of data professional. That's not the mindset of everyone who's working towards anyone who's working towards anything. Hence why I challenged myself to get out of my comfort zone and get onto Tableau. So just know these pain points are normal. I was studying data for like the longest time ever. I've been in my role for like 1 year, 4 months, but look at me, still struggling. And the good thing is the struggle is learning, yeah, but not too much talking. We'll have our get to know me, let's chat about career videos and we'll talk about all this, but I felt like I should mention this at this point, yeah. So yeah, so we have but now we want to track it. So we have year against total paid, but we want to track it month on month, yeah? Okay, there you go. And we also want to add a filter. Yeah. Okay, just give it a minute so we can do all. Okay. Okay, so there is our filter. So the next thing is we just want to make sure our filter is seen. Yeah. So like now, if you uncheck, it disappears. If you do 2010, it will only give you the visuals for 2010. So if you switch, let's say we get to 2011, see the shift, but you'll see the use of these filters like way better when we get to the dashboard. But yeah, we can see October is the month that all the way 2010 all the way to 2004. October is the month that they did a lot of disbursements. December, very few disbursements. Yeah. So yeah, so there we have our payments. So I'm going to add 2, 3, 4. So here I want us to rename this to disbursements. And debt income ratio. Okay, so just correct the disbursements. Okay. And then the next thing we also said we want to track is loss rate. So we can rename this to loss rate. And then the next thing we're going to do is rename this. What was the next thing? Profit returns. Okay, there you go. So let's come to disbursement. And as usual, we need to have our date, and then we can have our debt to income ratio, and we can have with our disbursements, total disbursements here. Okay. So come to show me, and I want a bar chart and line. And as you can see, it's the debt to income ratio that is on the bar, but I want it as a line. The disbursement is the line. So you can come here, click on, so we're on disbursements. I want it as a bar. Okay, and then if you come here, next, yeah, debt to income ratio. I want it as a line. Okay. It looks funny. And then actually, so let's come to color edits. Change the color. Assign palette. Let's just get rid of this. Then get rid of this. So we want this to be month over month. Interesting. I like how it looks though. And then we want to filter this. Yeah. Okay. We want this filter to show. Okay, let me just see like what happens if we only select 2010. Okay, so January 2010 to December 2010. So when the debt to income ratio is high, that's why it looks like that. I didn't mean to use disbursements. We want to look at the relationship between, I think it makes sense to look at the relationship between payments. Okay, yeah. So we need to switch that up. So this is line, oh, wrong one. Line. And this is bar. Okay. Yeah, this is better. So we want to look at the relationship between the paid and debt to income ratio. So you can see the time that people had. So like this is 0.02, 0.02, 0.02. So when the debt to income, there's really no relationship, honestly. When the debt to income ratio is low, payments are also fairly low. There's really no relationship, you guys. But anyway, yeah, so really think through your metrics. So here I was showing you how to calculate that metric. I was showing you how to like build this combined bar and line chart, which on Excel, oh my God, is such a long process. I really like how Tableau has made it so much easier. But if this is a project that you intend to use for like as your portfolio, and you want to include it in your CV for during your job search, really think through your metrics. Yeah. So would it have made sense to remove debt to income ratio? So we can remove it and probably put loss rate. Okay. loss rate, and total paid. But I'm going to switch it back to debt to income ratio. Yeah. Oh, I can change it. Okay, so this is again, so we have to paid bar chart, loss rate, line. Why is it so ugly? So total paid. So let's just okay. So if we do this, okay, there you go. Okay, so yeah, is this a visual that makes more sense? So like the lower the payments, as you can see, like when when people pay back less, we have a lower loss rate. Yeah, which is good. So when people pay back less, we have a lower loss rate. And when people pay back more, the loss rate, no, that doesn't make sense. Because if this month, people paid 3.6, yeah, aggregated, and the loss rate was 0.1, while here the loss rate was 0.09, so the loss rate was lower. Okay, anyway, so these are the really good questions to really think about, because you see, like now, again, this is a very basic project, and we're not thinking about which disbursements tied to which payment. So is this loss rate even for this month, the month of July, or is it for the previous month? Yeah, because ideally, by July, so anything that was disbursed in June, by end of July, all payments, like anything that was disbursed in June, we paid back in July. Yeah. So anything that was disbursed in July, assuming you're working with 1 month loans, will be paid back in August. So the loss rate for July cannot be it does not have a relationship with the what was paid that month. Yeah, I hope you've gotten what I'm saying. So this would make sense that the loss rate here is for June is 0.8, and the previous month the payments were really low. So like here, the loss rate for December was 0.1, which is high. A high loss rate is not a good thing. A low loss rate is a good thing. Yeah. And then again, for context, so always keep all these things in mind, you people. For context, remember this loss rate is a percentage. So it's 0.08 of what? Yeah. So just because people paid back more, it doesn't tell us much. Hence why I cannot wait to get into more advanced projects. But it does not tell us much because this is just showing us what was paid. So we don't know if this is too little or this is a lot because we don't have the comparison. Like maybe, despite the fact that they paid back very little in the month of May, maybe they also disbursed around the same amount. Yeah. I hope you guys get what I am trying to say. Yeah. And for the purposes of that, I'm not going to think so much about like what's going on here. So I'm going to put, well, I put back loss rate. I'm going to put back debt to income ratio as the visual, as what we'll be tracking for this visual. But guys, keep those in mind. If this is a conversation you'd like to continue, do let me know down in the comments below. I would want it to be more interactive. I'd want us to have like a proper chat, but I really don't know what that would look like. I'm not really sure what that would look like, guys. But yeah, this is something I really want to chat more about. If you have any more questions, if you want to use this for your portfolio project during your project search, like if you like any questions that you want me to help you with so that you can refine this project better and give value to your employers. Yeah. to your potential employer. So yeah, let's switch this back. So I want a bar chart. I actually like how it looks, but no, that doesn't make sense. Debt to income ratio. Line. There you go. So okay, we're done with this. Let's go to loss rate. This is going to be a very quick one. So we just put our date there. And we put our loss rate there. And we want this to be month on month. And we're going to be using, okay. So we have our debt to income ratio against total paid. And I'm going to change this to disbursements. Rename. No, let's just use autocorrect. So I'm going to change this to disbursements. And then I'm going to put disbursements here. Okay, that one is okay. Then I'm going to change this to payments. Okay, so the filter is visible. We also have our filter here, and it's visible. So this is a bit different from what I showed you guys, because I think in the, what is it called? In the practice, it does not want me to show you people. In the practice, I use disbursements, yeah. Okay. So loss rate. Month over month. So we just need to come back and add the filter. So I just also need to make sure here we put it's under month. Yeah, okay. So let's just come here and we put our filter. And we want to filter by year. You could filter it by quarter. Like, play around with this thing. If you filter by day, okay, day won't work because our date is limiting us to month. So if you filter it, if you change the filter to month or year or quarter, play around with it and see what happens. So we want this filter to show. And then the last thing we're going to be visualizing is returns, which is like profit. So guys, we are almost, we still need to create a whole dashboard, but yeah, we're almost done. And I just urge you to really play around with the visuals that are offered to you. So month. So for more, I'm going to use an area. Okay. Close this, and we need to filter. Yeah. Okay. So I want it to be visible. So yeah, play around with the visuals offered to you. Like they're all this, like, let's see how this would look like, but no, I want my area chart. It's just easier to read. But yeah, play around with it. Don't limit yourself to what I have used. You could use something else. So let's just make sure everything is okay. Okay, so now if you come here, this one is for adding a new worksheet. This is when you want to add a new dashboard. So let's add a new dashboard. So just give it a minute. There you go. So we're going to add a blank on our sheet. Then I want us to get a horizontal container. We place it there. And then we're going to just reduce the size of our horizontal container. And then we're going to take where's text and add it to our horizontal container. And we're going to call it loan book. Yeah. So we can highlight this, 10, bold, center it, okay. So we just get rid of this because we don't need it. And we need to put a vertical container. There you go. And the first thing we're going to put is disbursements. And then let's get another vertical container and put it here. And we can put our loss rate here. Okay. So this thing really disturbs me. Like I would want it to balance, so I get there two different types of visuals. And then we need another vertical container. And here we're going to do payments against debt to income ratio. There you go. I'd want this to be a bit longer. So let's see what will happen. So let's put our returns there. Let's close this. And there you go. Our very simple dashboard, yeah? So let's say we get rid of, then we select 2010. There's for sure, there has to be, why is it so tiny? Okay, so I'm going to remove that and put another vertical container. And then we put back our loss rate. Okay. So yeah, so as you can see, you can play around and so if you remove, so let's remove it 2012, 2013, 2014. So notice the visuals are adjusting accordingly. So we want to remain at 2012, 2013. It's 2013, 2014. So you notice the visuals are adjusting accordingly. Yeah. So yeah, when you want to switch it up, you just play around with the filters. And I guess my challenge to you guys is like, how can you improve this dashboard? You know, work on it. Find me on LinkedIn as Stacey Samoe and share with me. Share with me what you've worked on. Yeah. So my challenge to you is to improve this dashboard. Tag me on it. Let's have a discussion. Let's see how you could improve it, how I could improve it. And yeah, guys, that's the end of this video. If you found this informative, please let me know down in the comment below. Feel free to also like this project. Yeah, feel free to also subscribe, more to come. As I said, this was a very basic beginner level project, and yeah, I'm happy this is finally out there. Can't wait to do more SQL, Tableau solo projects, just, you know, working on our skill sets together. As I mentioned, I'm getting back to, like, you know, Tableau. And yeah, guys, and last thing is I'm just challenging you to make this better. And my first challenge to you is like how can we merge this? What is it called? How can we merge these filters? Like, it's something that I'm so sure is doable. Another thing you could also do is just name them better, but merge them. My challenge to you is figure out how to merge this and let's get onto LinkedIn. Let's have a discussion. Let me know if you figured it out. You can also have this discussion down in the comment below, but for sure, the next Tableau project will show you guys how to match these filters. So if that is something you're interested in, yeah, stay along, stay tuned, subscribe, like, if there's someone you think would benefit from this project, share. Otherwise, guys, that's the end of this video, and thank you so much. See you in the next one.